Tonight, when the sun goes down, you are going to do something your ancient ancestors never could. You are going to ignore the dark. You will turn on a light, scroll a screen, maybe stay awake until midnight without a second thought. But here is the strange part. Your body still thinks the sun just set 10,000 years ago, and what happened after dark back then was far stranger than you have ever been told. For most of human history, nighttime was not dead time. It was not just sleep. Anthropologist Jerome Siegel spent years studying modern hunter-gatherer tribes in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia, groups who still live without electricity, and what he found shattered almost everything we assumed about ancient sleep. These people do not go to sleep when the sun goes down. They stay awake for hours. They talk. They tell stories. They watch the fire. Fire changes everything. Once your ancestors controlled it, the night became a stage. Anthropologist Polly Wiessner analyzed decades of conversations recorded around Hadza campfires in Tanzania and found something remarkable. During the day, people talked about practical things: food, tools, conflicts. But at night, around the fire, 80% of conversations shifted to storytelling, myths, spirits, other people in faraway places. The fire did not just keep predators away. It extended the social mind into the dark. Your brain was literally built around those fires. Neuroscientist Robin Dunbar argues that the cognitive demands of managing complex social relationships, remembering who did what, who owes whom, who is trustworthy, drove the expansion of the human neocortex. And much of that social bonding happened at night, around flames, in the dark. Your ability to understand metaphor, to imagine other people's inner lives, to lose yourself in a story that may have been sharpened by thousands of years of firelit nights. But your ancestors were not doing one solid block of sleep either. Historian A. Roger Ekirch spent 2 decades combing through pre-industrial diaries, legal records, and medical texts from medieval Europe and found consistent, repeated references to something called the first sleep and the second sleep. People would sleep for 4 hours, wake up for an hour or two, then sleep again. In that middle hour, they would pray, have sex, visit neighbors, or simply lie in a half-conscious state and think. Ekirch found that this waking interval was considered almost sacred, a liminal time when the mind was loose, creative, unusually open. You still have this waking instinct. If you have ever woken up at 2 or 3 in the morning and found your mind moving in strange, fluid, almost dreamlike directions, that is not insomnia. That is your ancient brain surfacing exactly when it was designed to surface. The thoughts that come to you in those hours are not random. They are the product of a mental state that your ancestors used regularly as a space for reflection that daylight simply does not allow. So what did ancient humans actually do at night? They told stories that kept culture alive across generations. They lay awake in the dark and thought thoughts their busy days never allowed. They watched fire. They looked up at stars. They made sense of the world in the only quiet hours they had. Tonight, when you turn off your light and lie in the dark, the part of you that wakes at 3 a.m. and cannot go back to sleep is not broken. It is the oldest version of you, still waiting after all this time for the fire to die down and the real thinking to begin.